We are back at the Social Mobile Payments Conference in Orlando, Florida, and I'm joined by Kolja Reiss of the company mopay. Kolja and I actually go back a ways. Our companies have done business together, and we've actually spoken at conferences together as well. mopay's been around since 1999, and there's a lot of attention on mobile payments today, as if it's the next big thing. However, a company with the longevity and the history that mopay has, you probably have a completely different perspective.
Indeed. Mobile payments is a very generic term describing technologies and services to accept mobile payments from mobile devices and make mobile payments or make payments from devices. So, and it's sometimes even for us as industry experts, it's sometimes hard to determine what's science fiction and what's reality. And if we do a quick reality check, one of the technologies that has been around for a long, long time and has been wildly adopted by consumers already is actually carrier-based billing.
Could you tell us a little bit more about carrier-based billing?
Yes, so carrier-based billing, in fact, is a very simple technology allowing online merchants as well as offline merchants to place charges to cell phone bills. The way how it works from a consumer's perspective is very simple. So imagine you're in a checkout situation online and you want to make a payment. You're being confronted at the end of the checkout process with your payment options, such as credit card, PayPal, sometimes cash payments, ACH, whatever the merchant may be offering you as a consumer. And one of the new options or one of the existing options is also mobile payments. So if you click that, you're being directed to a page where you have to enter your cell phone number. We run you through an authorization process in the back end, making sure that it's you making this purchase, and then after the authorization has been completed, the charge is placed on your cell phone bill. And then you just pay the charge at the end of the month when your bill statement from your mobile carrier arrives in your mail.
So essentially they're buying on behalf of, is that correct?
Yes.
And that's a consumer perspective. What about the merchant perspective? What does this look like from a merchant standpoint?
So from a merchant perspective, it's as simple as it gets. So you would add mobile payments to your payment portfolio as a merchant, offering to accept mobile payments from your consumers. And you work with a company such as mopay, who's aggregating through its carrier network the payment and routing it appropriately to the right carrier. So how it works is very simple. You just integrate once with us and you are set to accept payments with 380 carriers globally right now.
What about currencies? How many different currencies do you support?
We currently support about 80 currencies globally, and that number is growing. As you can imagine, people in India, they always want to pay in local currency rather than in US dollars. So we have a lot of back-end technology to help merchants bringing their products and offering their products in local currencies.
You mentioned India. I find that fascinating because here in the US, we were looking at mobile payments from a convenience standpoint, that it's going to make things easier. But in places like India, where so many people are left out of possession of financial instruments, having access to mobile payments for the first time allows them to interact with their economy. So you do business in India.
Yes, and in fact, and it's very right. So often mobile payments is very much about increasing convenience for the consumer, increasing security as well. But also a lot of the merchants that we talk to on a daily basis, they are looking into expanding their business and capturing payments from consumers that are currently unbanked, don't have a credit card, or they are underserved when it comes to their banking relationships. And third world countries are a great example for that, but also take Europe as an example. Credit card penetration is much lower in Europe than in the US, for instance. So it's the first time for many merchants that they are actually enabled to accept payments from consumers in Europe.
Non-cash payments. You know, we've been hearing a lot today about security concerns, privacy concerns, and the media also has paid a lot of attention to both of these concerns. Can you tell us how mopay addresses both of those?
Yes, and often when we talk to merchants, they're very concerned about their image that could potentially be damaged by credit card fraud, say a merchant that has a breach in the data center and credit card data or PayPal data is stolen. So with mobile payments, we do not have that. The way how merchants integrate with us is very limited sets of data are actually interchanged between the merchant and mopay and the carrier. It's almost limited to the phone number itself, and you can barely do anything with the phone number alone. So all the authentication, the authorization of the transaction happens on mopay's back end. There's nothing stored on the merchant's end. So even if a bad doer would theoretically gain access to a database on the merchant's end, there's barely anything you can do with it. So this is why we consider carrier-based billing also a very secure method of payment.
Okay, and what about privacy concerns?
Same here. Because there's so limited data involved in a transaction to the carrier bill, which is simply the phone number itself, there's almost no privacy concern other than caring for your phone number itself, and that's what we obviously take very seriously.
So mopay's integration into a payment system itself, just by its nature, provides better security and privacy than some more traditional methods.
Yes, that's what we think.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us, Kolja. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.